Nazi collaborator like Soros, it'd be okay. That's so they're betting that you're just going to put up with the abuse like conservatives always do and just go away. But the biggest thing you can do is call Congress, call the White House, call talk radio, make a big deal out of this because other conservatives are next. It's already happening. And with our regular credit card process, we have it for you. Get in there and get some of the amazing products we've got. So you can't lose. You get great products while you're funding the information war at InfoWarsStore.com. You can let that old Nazi collaborator Soros tell you to shove it up as you know what.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones coming to you live from the front lines of the Info War.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are broadcasting worldwide with 39 days out from the midterms. Right now, it could change. The Republicans have the votes to confirm Kavanaugh. The Democrats are never going to let him get confirmed if they wait any longer. They'll have 100 more women, 500 women, 1,000 women. They'll have sports stadiums with 100,000 all saying that he blew their brains out. I mean, it'll just be insane. They try to get Barrett in. They'll say she wears cat lady outfits and rapes women with bullwhips and is a vampire. I mean, they're not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. They are using the IRS to still persecute Christians and conservatives. Project Veritas got undercover video of that. They are doxing members of Congress and their families right now. And you can do a search on Wikipedia to see where it was updated from. They are doxing members of the Senate who are pro-Kavanaugh and their families, their wives, their homes, their phone numbers, their addresses from the House of Representatives. So inside the other side of the Capitol building, insiders are there doxing people. This is what terrorism is. They are terrorizing everyone. They are bullying everyone. They're saying go out in public, and if they're associated with Trump, don't let them eat in restaurants. Don't let them go to the mall. You get in their face in a mob and you run their ass out of there. The Democratic Party is a sellout party to the Communist Chinese and others. Their religion is hating America and hating unborn. They are a legion of evil. They are conscious lying criminals. They have radicalized the party, ladies and gentlemen, because fish rot from the head down. Last night I watched a 2-hour documentary about Stalin, and I already knew about it, but just to watch it and see it, how evil the communists were and how much they enjoyed hurting poor Christians and stealing their land and their property and murdering them, and just how much they enjoyed it because they hated God. And Stalin said, I serve Lucifer. I worship the devil. And people always said, oh, he's just joking. And he said, no, I believe in God. I believe in the devil, and he's given me power, and I'm going to kill people. And V.I. Lenin was a devil worshiper as well. So you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that these people mean business, and they hate you and your family. And communists in this country went and set up V.I. Lenin and Stalin. That was leftist creation out of America. And they want to do that to you and your family. Make no mistake. Their religion is literally raping your wife and children in front of you, and then working you to death, and then shooting you in the back of the head. That's where Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and Michael Moore and George Soros want to take you. Look at Antifa beating up women and children. It's who they are. They have a hunger for your life. They want to dominate you. Now, here's the incredible news. And there's so much of it. Bombshell. Senate prosecutor says, she briefed the senators last night, she wouldn't charge Kavanaugh or even pursue a search warrant. She said it's totally incredible. There's no witnesses. None of the story adds up. The whole thing's disintegrated. And that she wouldn't even get near a court with this. Continuing, with support for key GOP senator, Judiciary Committee sets favorable vote for Kavanaugh. NBC News. And they're set to vote sometime later today. That is, of course, now getting more and more of the key holdover Republicans to say they're getting on board, like Jeff Flake, Republican Arizona. So maybe he can redeem himself. Tears and raw fury. Kavanaugh hearing makes for riveting television. We're going to play some of the highlights. I thought he was very credible. Emotional Kavanaugh decries circus and maintains innocence as Ford testifies, he sexually assaulted me. Men are trash versus I stand with Brett. Wild scene at the Capitol for Kavanaugh drama. That is Politico. We'll get to those videos. And so much more. Senator Bob Corker to vote yes on Kavanaugh. Nothing corroborates the allegations. You see what's happening? Lindsey Graham is chased down the hall, screamed at, yelled at, frothed at, like these women want to kill him. No one's calling for him to be arrested or thrown out. I'm not either. But I talked 1/10 as aggressively to CNN reporters and Marco Rubio, and mainstream media said I should be taken off the air everywhere and I should be banned from the Capitol because I dare walk up and ask a few tough questions. Again, just shows how these people are out of control. And as I mentioned, Republican senators doxxed by someone in House shortly after questioning Kavanaugh. It's all coming up. But first, let's go to Senator Cruz just minutes ago. Here it is.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're living in a divided time. This country is divided right down the middle. There is an enormous amount of anger. There's rage. There's hatred. We see demonstrators screaming at each other, reflecting that rage, reflecting that anger. And I know there are a great many Americans who wish we could and believe we can get back to an environment where we treat each other with civility and decency. Get back to an environment where, yes, we have policy disagreements. We disagree on what the right legislation is to pass. And we even have vigorous debates about what the right policy is. But we do so in a context that respects each other, that doesn't demean the humanity of each other, that doesn't attack the character and drag people through the mud. The politics of personal destruction that we have seen on display in recent days is Washington, D.C. at its very ugliest. And all of us should remember that we're talking about real human beings here. These aren't pawns in a chessboard. These are real people. Dr. Ford has been through hell. The last 2 weeks, I have no doubt, have been extraordinarily painful for her family. The testimony she gave yesterday was powerful.
And the millions of dollars she's raising, yeah, it's terrible.
Was clearly heart-wrenching. Was clear she was hurting and hurting mightily. Having her name made public against her wishes and dragged through the mud was a hurtful thing to do.
Yeah, that's what her and Feinstein say. And everything she says turns out to not be true, though.
He, too, has been dragged through the mud for the last 2 weeks in a way that has no precedent. In our polarized society we live in today, it's almost tribalized. Where half of us wear one team's jersey, the other half wear the other team's jersey, and everything we see through the lens of our jersey. So
Cruz is trying to be presidential here.
If across the country, a significant percentage of those on the Democratic side of the aisle saw yesterday's testimony and concluded he must be guilty. And it would not surprise me if a very significant percentage of those on the Republican side of the aisle saw yesterday's testimony, the same testimony, and concluded he must be innocent.
Folks, the New York Times apologized for saying, did you find her credible? That's what you always ask about a trial or a hearing. You can't even question now. This country is crippled with political correctness.
And the many that
She's a political Democrat operative whose story is phony. About who our witnesses say that didn't happen. She doesn't remember how she got there, but she remembers all the specifics.
I don't think it is.
Which turned out to not be true.
Judge Kavanaugh has two young daughters, a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old. For the rest of their lives, their daughters will go to school, will interact with people, many of whom are convinced their father is a rapist. I want you to think of the effect that has when those are the allegations.
We're going to come back. And notice she thought she was going to die, too. 10 seconds rolling around in a bed 36 years ago, and the witnesses say it didn't happen, and now it's rape. Next it'll be murder. Next it'll be...
We've got a statement now with regard to PayPal and reports that it has ended its relationship with InfoWars.
PayPal joining the slew of tech companies that have severed ties with conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, hitting his InfoWars where it hurts by no longer allowing the site to use the payment processor.
PayPal is the latest company to sever ties with Jones after YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Last month, the website called Right Wing Watch posted a report highlighting PayPal's continued business relationship with InfoWars, and the Washington Post also noted how business on the InfoWars stores was booming.
PayPal is the latest big tech company to cut ties with far-right conspiracy website InfoWars, dealing a blow to one of founder Alex Jones's revenue sources.
This is, of course, coming at a time when many, at least reports out there of possible censorship of conservative voices and other people in the media has come to light as well. So Contessa, certainly a story that we're following very closely.
It actually fuels the Trump base because they do feel like they're being silent.
And we're also standing up to social media censorship. That's the new thing.
Apple, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter have all booted Jones off their platforms. PayPal on Thursday night informed InfoWars, which runs an online storefront that sells survival gear and herbal supplements, that it has 10 business days to find a new payment processor.
You can't pick one person and say, well, we don't like what he's been saying, he's out. We have literally thousands and thousands of complaints coming in. And you just can't do that.
Jones hit back on his website, saying the InfoWarsStore.com site had no political content, and the move emphasizes how the decision was a broader attack on the InfoWars platform.
A PayPal spokesperson says, quote, "We undertook an extensive review of the InfoWars sites and found instances that promoted hate speech,
and bullying policies."
Alex, speaking of food, I do have to mention to you that on Monday night, I was invited out to dinner by a New York Times reporter, and he said that it was on him, which meant it was on Carlos Slim. And therefore, I took him to the finest steakhouse in all of South Florida, where I knew they had an incredible 48-ounce porterhouse that is just a thing to behold.
Okay, I'm getting hungry.
And therefore, I ordered it. And I must tell you, I enjoyed every bite, but afterwards, it was really debilitating. And then I remembered I had ordered a bottle of Carnivore from the Infowars.com store. Let me tell you, this is now my new favorite product next to Brain Force Plus. You don't have the situation where this just sits in your gut and ferments. The enzymes that are used in Carnivore help you to gently digest.
You don't end up like John Wayne with 45 pounds of undigested Hillary Clinton in your guts.
I mean, it's exactly right. In this case, my digestive dis-ease disappeared like that. This is a truly great product. And right now, $23.42 on a special price, worth every penny of it. So the next time you're going to come to Carlos Slim and hand him a restaurant bill of a couple $100 for some of the finest beef in the United States, make sure you've got your bottle of Carnivore first. I must tell you, it was outstanding. But the best thing about it, it was being paid for by the...
Well, there's nothing better than a glass of red wine and a big old juicy porterhouse and potatoes gratin and some asparagus. But like I said, I got to get a driver when I do that, actual Uber or whatever, because when I get home, it's like, boom, we're talking sleep for 12 hours when I eat a porterhouse.
Yeah, it's called the food coma, but you can avoid the negative effects with Carnivore.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide. It's Alex Jones.
So the seasoned prosecutor that came in and grilled Kavanaugh and Ford said that she would not charge Kavanaugh or even pursue a search warrant, that none of Ford's story added up. None of it was corroborated. Everyone she said were witnesses said the opposite. 36 years old allegation that only came up now, that was held to the 11th hour. Then the witnesses say none of what's being said is accurate. The woman is a political operative, burrowed into the Democratic Party, giving 70-plus donations just in the last few years to Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Dianne Feinstein's involved in the whole middle of it. Feinstein says she didn't leak it to the press. She's been caught lying. And we're just supposed to go, oh, you poor victim, when even police will tell you in criminology, and it's getting worse and worse, that half of sex assault claims are fake. Every time you hear about a white woman grabbed by 4 black guys and raped, and then, cracker scrawled on her back, cut on her back. Turns out that was a fake case. A black woman said 4 KKK guys, these were both Texas cases, grabbed her and did the same thing. It was fake. How many of the dorms have had swastikas put on them or burning crosses? And in every case, it's turned out that it was the students doing it to themselves to get attention. The Air Force Academy this year, with the head of the Air Force chewing out everybody and saying whites are bad, and calling the Air Force together, including not just the cadets, but the officers, and saying this is disgusting. And then nothing was said when it turned out that a black student put it on the vending machine. I've written articles, Breitbart's got articles. There's hundreds of cases of Democrats staging things and lying about it. It doesn't mean every case is fake. Doesn't mean that Ford might not have been assaulted by somebody, because she comes off as kind of out of it. Doesn't remember how she got there, who got her, but remembers the furniture and everything else and every detail, but doesn't have any witnesses. I mean, maybe somebody else assaulted her. There's 2 men that said there was a party like that, and the girl looked like her, and they didn't rape her, but they got drunk and fell on her and grabbed on her, and they shouldn't have. Maybe it's her. That's got more credibility. At least she's got some witnesses now. See? But with this whole history of Democrats' specialty being blaming their political enemies for things they haven't done, you've got a right and a duty to not buy into this stuff, especially when she doesn't have any witnesses. But going back, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what's most critical about the whole thing, is that we have due process, innocent until proven guilty, and because there weren't any of these claims until now, and there's statute of limitations, they have to be looked at as a political dirty trick, which, of course, in the main, that's what the Democrats are doing. There's no debate about it. Everybody's common sense knows it. History shows it. And it lets you know that the Democrats are now going to go below the belt for eternity. The Republicans have the votes now.